The Ozarks. The Ozarks, I spent a little over a week there. These friends of mine hosted me. Thank you, guys. And it was the point in my little journey where things started to feel distinctly un-Midwestern, getting there in the South. And the Ozarks host some of the most incredible natural beauty I've ever experienced in my life. I mean, just wow. But some incredible contrasts culturally. As I'm heading down, making my escape from Branson, Missouri, I was going down, I think it was on 65. I've never seen so many junk shops and resale shops and little touristy traps, and this was one of them. Arkansas, at least 65 in Arkansas, seems to be home of the flea markets and junk shops, but most of which I have ignored. But I had to come see this one because of the whole hippie motif going on here. So hopefully this place is open. Sign says open. Let's see if it's open. Newspaper sitting out here. No, it's dark. Aww. Well, it doesn't open until 10, but there it is. Stuff. Bad weather was coming, I had gleaned from the weather reports, so I decided, I should probably pull off and just kind of camp somewhere. So luckily I found a state park that was open all year round, and I took advantage of that. And that was kind of my introduction to the joys of off-season camping, which I highly recommend, but seems to only really happen, really be accessible as soon as you start to hit the South. But it was great. I had campgrounds all to myself many times. Enjoyed that greatly. Inclement weather is due, so I decided to take a sight at this cute little state park on a little lake. Woolly something. Woolly Mammoth? Woolly Bully? Whatever it is. Woolly Hollow State Park in Greenbrier, Arkansas. And more developed than the usual kind of place that I hang out at. But it looks nice. And it's supposed to be some really hardcore storms, so we'll see how that all plays out. So I rendezvoused with my friend at this really interesting little gas station cum convenience store cum survival shop. Check this out. I'm in a little town called Compton, Arkansas, and I am in front of a deceptively nondescript store called JB Trading Company. And from the outside it doesn't look a whole lot like much of anything. It's typical gas station convenience store. But if you're like me, if you're a prepper sort of person who thinks that someday things may go greatly awry, you are kind of at Doom Mart. So we have all kinds of camping and survival supplies here, and various other oh my god, we're screwed type of gear. And fairly sizable store full of such things. Really, really well stocked. I've never actually seen a place quite like this, and it's right here in the middle of northwest Arkansas.
Great location, got a bunch of different trails, Buffalo River. Actually getting a campground in, we don't have 3 RV hookups, we don't have a lot of primitive tents and whatnot, so nice bath housings, got real good food, real good gear, so And I'm not real for sure what to say. I mean, never been put on a spot like this, so
Well, that's what I do.
I guess.
I put people on the spot. It's my thing.
Exactly what video cameras do.
Yeah. Good food, good people, good service.
All right, thank you so much.
No problem.
All right.
Guys, have a good day.
So if you're passing through Compton, Arkansas, and you feel that everything is going to go straight to hell, this is the place to amp up on your supplies.
So as I mentioned, the Ozarks are absolutely stunning, and I took a lot of footage of a lot of stuff there, of a natural kind. Not going to put a lot of it on here because it is one of those places you really have to visit to experience, and but here's a little bit of it.
Well, here we are in the Ozarks, and this is a representation of it, which obviously on video pales by comparison. An absolutely beautiful place, and not unlike where I live in the Driftless, except bigger. Everything here kind of reminds me, the topography is very similar to where I live in the Driftless area, the Kickapoo Valley of Wisconsin, except a lot more pronounced. So the roads are just as windy and treacherous, and but you know, we have hills, and these are more like kind of mountains.
Spent a little over a week in the Ozark area in general, and my friend took me around to an awful lot of places, a lot of different towns around there and everything, and I played at an open mic in Fayetteville, which was really cool. Checked out this company that does furniture, amongst other things. They're pretty diversified, and the owner is a really neat guy, and I had some really interesting conversations with him, but I was really taken with their furniture, which is odd for me to say because I really don't give a crap about furniture. IKEA is like perfectly fine by me. It doesn't matter. But there are times when you are taken with something that has a quality essence, and this was one of them.
Family operation, 5 of us, homeschooled kids. They're better than I am now. I'm self-taught, and they're taught by me, and they're real good. Yeah. Yeah, I like casework. It's like laying brick or block. At the end of the day, you got something you can really look at.
That's nice work. It's just absolutely beautiful.
Nice place to live. Yeah. Arkansas is pretty nice.
That's in a light amber color. People like it as a coffee table or in a bedroom. At the foot of the bed is kind of a bench. These are 2 small, we're calling them kind of like lingerie cabinets, dressers.
I could put all my lingerie in there.
Yeah. Well, that's generally the size. But,
Usually when people order dressers
they
in Euros,
want-
they get them
they
bigger.
want ones that big usually when they
You know,
go
long or
long.
Okay.
So, but these are a smaller size. Can we? Here.
It's nicely done. Yeah, it's a very distinctive design too.
All over the Ozarks are all these nifty little historic buildings, and that was one of the things I saw on my journey that you don't see so much in the Midwest, really. Places that have a respect and a reverence for their own history. In the Midwest, like places like Chicago, as soon as it gets old, they just tear it down and put something else up that's a little bit more shiny.
Some local history here. This is apparently the first actual condominium development in the Ozarks, and we're going to go take a look at it inside. Gone are the granite countertops and the Jenner stove that used to be here. Yeah. you know, good ventilation and everything. You know, got good airflow and. Apparently, this is a tourist spot. Apparently, people are actually fairly reverent about it. Nobody comes here and, you know, graffitis the place and all the time it's been here. And which, you know, speaks well of humans. Occasionally they do something right. So, yeah, nifty little road stop in the Ponka area of Arkansas.
Elk education. I've never heard of it. Have you?
We're at the Ponka Elk Education Center, which is a place that apparently provides job training and remedial education and adult education to elk. And because, you know, these elk that slip through the cracks, it's a tragic thing. This is actually what happens when an elk slips through the cracks. You may notice those black silhouettes there. That's what happens. They fade away into nothingness. You don't want to be that elk. So we're going to go take a look inside and see what sort of opportunities await you if you're an elk in Ponka, Arkansas. That isn't an elk there. That is what I believe the natives call a turkey. And we're going to come in here and take a look. And hi.
Hello.
Hi.
I hear you're from Wisconsin.
I am from Wisconsin. I'm actually from Detroit, but I live in Wisconsin, and they actually let me. Is this where I would come and sign up if I was an elk seeking remedial education? And
Sure.
okay, all
You
right,
can register here. We'll
all right. What sort of job training resources do you offer the average elk?
it's kind of self-guided. They can just
Yeah.
wander through and pick
Okay.
up on the history. And did you notice our canvas photos out here in front,
Yeah.
reading the signs? So they're pretty well educated here.
Okay, that's good. That's good. It's good to know that we have resources available for quadrupeds, because, you know, I mean, everybody is tightening out there. Those are not actual birds that you're hearing. That's coming out of a computer speaker. So, you know, in case you come here and you're worried about your hair or something, don't worry. It's just a computer. Yeah, it's a nifty little place. So, that was a bear at one point in time, I'm thinking. So when I was living in Chicago and I'd take the CTA, you know, I'd be kind of standing around and, you know, just kind of doing some casual bonding with various other people waiting for their transportation at the end of the day. So you'd be pointing at the tracks in the underground part, the subway part. Look at that rat. Look at that big old rat. This enormous rat. Yeah, and it was just, you know, just kind of like this thing, you know, this bit of nature that we'd see in the city. And this is absolutely not like that. These are elk. These are these big, beautiful, majestic creatures, and apparently highly educated. A lot of these elk really know their trig, and some of them are actually fine Shakespearean actors. So, you know, we're here in Arkansas watching elk in their natural environment, rehearsing lines for Macbeth. Giving you some more gratuitous elk shots here. And, beautiful creatures, just protected and just kind of hanging out on this farmer's property.
So one of the little towns that we stopped at, I was informed, is actually the birthplace of the KKK. Right.
So this is Harrison, Arkansas, and this is kind of a contrast to Ferguson, I guess. Sort of the antithesis. And we're, a friend of mine are about to have some breakfast at Peckerwood's Cafe, and I've wisely taken off my Malcolm X Lives sweatshirt for this, and gonna do this, and hopefully, I won't say anything untoward and end up dangling from a tree.
There was nothing happened. We had a perfectly pleasant little meal, and no rope was involved, no fire, nothing, no tar, no feathers. But it was odd. I just had a very, odd sense of foreboding there. But that may have been just me. But yeah, that was it's interesting being in a town where such a thing could evolve. Yeah. One of the local landmarks that apparently is extremely popular is this nifty little place in Jasper.
So it is a Saturday. It's Saturday, January 30th, here in Jasper, Oklahoma, and it is almost 70. I think it's like 69 degrees. And the touristas are out in full force, going to places like the famous Ozarks Cafe. I am going to, and my friend are going to check out Emma's Museum of Junk. But this is just a really anomalous thing. The weather has been extremely troubling. My friend's horses are shedding, which is highly unusual. Her dogs are shedding. There's buds all over everything. This is the dead of winter. And granted, it's the Ozarks, but it's not that much. It's not that much warmer than Wisconsin here, normally. And I mean, I could go swimming outdoors right now. So kind of troubling stuff. And but something less troubling is this funky place. So. Thank you. Good. Oh yeah, the local section?
The local section.
All right, we're going to look at the local section in Emma's.
Some of our fine crafts people make different soaps and artwork and all that.
So what is Emma's claim to fame?
This is a museum of junk. That is her claim to fame. It is world famous. How could you not know that?
The amount of what I don't know is a lot. Might shock you to hear that, but it's true.
There's
So
an
local
old
soaps and
man
stuff.
who makes he makes a soap, a jewelweed soap. This is his soap, and this is the antidote to poison ivy.
That's right, I've heard that.
Jewelweed grows next to poison ivy.
Yeah.
And this man goes out and gathers it and makes this wonderful soap.
It smells pleasant too. Got your pine tar soap.